this variety. This is not a litter box. What are you doing? 7-gallon containers worth. Good morning, welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. I do have a very berry-centric vlog for you today, but I did something yesterday and I want to make sure that everything went well with my honeybees. I've actually sized down my colonies quite considerably, but one of the bigger colonies I added into one of the long hives that my husband made this spring, and I want to make sure that they're settling in okay. Oh yeah, they're in there. I had a box set up here that had bees in it for several years, and yesterday I moved the colony down into here, and it looks like they're settling in nicely. They do have access to this entire box. These boxes fit 31 frames in them, and that colony was 20 frames big, and they were completely full so they could expand. And they look like they figured it out. I also have this little baby colony over here. And they look good, nice and calm, bringing in pollen, which means that they've got baby bees that they are feeding in there. So that is good. These ones are empty. And then over here I have a small colony inside this box. That's all the beekeeping I needed to do today. It makes me happy. Hey Mooch. He's my handsome, huh? Hello. I know, my hand is weird. So it is July, and I am already thinking about the fall and winter garden. And that's because coming up pretty soon, right around the end of August in my area, I need to be starting my brassica seeds indoors because it'll be too hot outside. I have been using a potting mix called Kellogg's all year, and I really like it for established plants. I don't think really any bagged soil is that great on its own, and the Kellogg's is no different. So in our garden, it's been best, you know, mixed up with some of our rabbit manure and some of the older soil that we had in the beds. And I've found that it's not ideal for seed starting. It's been okay. It's really been hit or miss. But a few vlogs ago, I started some okra seed inside some of that potting mix, and I didn't get a great germination rate. And there might be a couple reasons for that. One of the things that I noticed though was that the seedlings were having a hard time pushing up through some of those larger pieces that are in that mix. So what I've decided to do was take the advice of one of my viewers and purchase this soil. This Coast of Maine soil is incredibly expensive. It was $20 for 1 cubic foot, which makes it 4 times the cost of the Kellogg soil. But if I just use this for seed starting, I can use a lot less of it. And if it works really well, it could be very well worth it. So I have seeds here that I'm going to be starting today. So many of you probably follow Jess at Roots and Refuge Farm. Her first garden tour that she did this season, she showed that she had a strawberry. Like, these strawberries were huge. They were massive. They were half the size of her palm. And she said that they were this variety, the Proven Winners Buried Treasure. And I thought that this was especially cool because the flowers on these strawberries are double blooming, so they've got more petals, and they're pink. So I don't know why this surprised me so much. Strawberries are in the rose family and roses come in many different colors, but I thought this was awesome, so I needed to get some. And I think it was $9 per plant or something from Proven Winners Direct, and I decided that I didn't love them that much. So I went ahead and purchased some seed. We're gonna be starting strawberries from seed today. I have done this before, so I feel like we're gonna have success. Now, the back of the seed packet here said that we needed to chill in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 weeks prior to sowing. So I have done that ahead of time. And now it's time to plant. And what this is gonna do, it's gonna be sort of a breaking in of this soil to see what I think about it before we plant our whole fall and winter garden in it. So I have this microgreens tray down here, and what I'm going to do is actually just like scatter the seeds on top of the soil. This is not a litter box. It is not. This soil is already pretty moist. It's been out in the few rains that we've had. And the bag does have a few holes in it to allow for air to get in and a little bit of water to get in. So I'm just gonna fill the microgreens tray like this. And there's 15 seeds per packet. So I bought quite a few packets. I do not think that we're going to start them all today. I just wanted to make sure that we'd get a good amount of germination, and it's not too late to start. Oh, that's nice. It comes with a planting tag. You can tell I haven't purchased many of their seed because I didn't realize they did that. That's actually very nice. That's very convenient. Jackie, you be good. So we've got our seeds in this little packet. They're very, very tiny, and I'm not 100% sure if strawberry seeds expressly need light to germinate, but I do know that they are surface sown. It may just be because they're really, really tiny. You can barely see them on my hand there. Seeds only have as much energy in this tiny little package to reach the surface of the soil, and then at that point they need the energy of the sun in order to get going. So if we plant them too deeply, they could easily run out of energy before they are able to reach the sun, and obviously we don't want that. So incredibly tiny. Try and remember where I left off. I guess right there. There, 4 out of the 5 packets are planted. I'll save this one just in case anything kind of goes awry with these. I've got somewhat of a backup. Just pressing lightly down on them. I would like each seed to have really good contact with the soil so that they can retain as much moisture as possible. I want to be very delicate with these tiny seeds when it comes to watering them. So I'm going to use this spray bottle, just rainwater. Got this dusty humidity dome that I'm going to put on top of them just to help retain some moisture. And then these are going to go inside my house under a grow light. It's almost thawed out. I walked inside to put the strawberries under the grow light and realized that the air didn't quite feel right in the house. I didn't get that lovely cooling sensation that you get when you enter an air-conditioned building after being outside in the heat. And our air conditioner froze up again. It does this every summer. The inside of it has coils that clog up with the fine dust that we have here. I change out the filters all the time, and it still doesn't really do much. It needs like a full, almost power wash of the inside once a year. So they're coming out to do that later, but it might throw off my plans for this vlog because I was going to can up some blackberries in some syrup, but I really don't feel like heating up the house by trying to put a pot of boiling syrup on the stove right now. Regardless, the blackberries need harvesting, so we'll come out here and do this. No, go away. Go away. I don't want any. Hey, you. What are you doing in here? There's a what?
Possum.
Oh my.
There was no bait in it. I did not refill it with egg.
Okay. Oh, this one's bigger than the one you caught yesterday. Yeah. Hi.
His fingers look funny. He's so cute.
This is the second possum in 2 days that we've caught in our live traps. I keep expecting to catch some of our kittens by accident, but so far we have not. My husband Levi has been relocating these away from the farm. Possums are not necessarily a bad thing. I don't necessarily mind them, but they do eat our garden produce, especially melons, and so we give them a different home other than our farm. You'll have to sit up here and wait for my husband to get home from work. I just noticed that our possum friend here is a mama. There's a little baby hanging from her underbelly. I saw a little foot and a little tail. I think because of the heat today that I am gonna let her go. I was thinking, how can I make sure that she gets water today? And I can't really do that without risking getting bit by Miss Mama here, so I am gonna let her go. Can you see that little tail? I promise that's a tail and not anything else. She's got baby under there. How do I let you out without getting bit? There you go. There you go. Go in. There. Maybe we'll catch her again at some point and we'll be able to let her go earlier in the day. I just don't think that was going to be good for her to stay in there all day. I happen to know that there is like a pan that's been collecting water underneath the blackberries in there, so she's got access to water and shade today. It is a hot one out there, but thankfully our window unit inside our shed is working really well, so we can still get a break from the heat today before the air conditioner company comes. But looky there, we got an entire colander worth of blackberries, and I've been picking loads like this every other day. If I wait to do every 3 days, we get obviously even more than that. It's just some of the berries start to get a little bit extra soft, and some of them have more bugs on board at that point than I really would like to deal with. Berries really do start to break down pretty quickly as soon as they come off of the plant, so I do want to refrigerate these, and I may even stick them in the freezer while we're waiting for our AC situation to get figured out. I am going to wait to wash these until we go to preserve them. They're just gonna stay fresher longer if I don't mess with them too much. There we go. There we are. A little bit more than half of this gallon bag's worth. Good haul for today. So even though I can't really heat up the house today to process the blackberries in the way that I would like to, we can still deal with some of the berries, some different berries that we have in the garden. We do have a storm brewing on the horizon, and I came out to do things like empty out our rain gauge so I can tell how much it rained, and I noticed how much fruit is just absolutely weighing down this elderberry plant. I have a lot of elderberry things that I made last year, and so I really wasn't sure if I wanted to deal with the elderberries or not this year, but it seems like why not just put it in the freeze dryer? So I think I'm gonna do that. Now there are a few kind of unripe berries on that head, but I'm not too worried about the little odd green berry here and there. Most of them are lovely and black. And watch, as I snip off these ripe heads, the bush just lifts up from the relief of all that weight. The birds have gotten to some of them. That's likely what's happened to this here, but that's okay. We've got a lot of berries. That surprised me quite a lot. You hear all the time that birds are a menace to berries, and really the birds haven't bothered any of my berries too badly, knock on wood. What they do like is little baby seedlings. I have issues with that. Oh, darn Japanese beetles are in here. I hate those. Seven-gallon containers worth. not too shabby. So when it comes to processing elderberry, you really only want to focus on the ripe berries themselves. We want to discard the stem because the stem is toxic. The easiest way to pick each individual berry off of the stem is to actually pre-freeze the whole thing, and when you just shake the bag afterward, the berries just fall off of the stem, and then you can deal with the berries. So that is what I'm going to do. For this exact moment though, I think I am going to leave this bucket underneath the carport protected from the rain and allow all these little green colored stink bugs to get out of here, because I don't exactly want to deal with those when I'm processing my berries. I'm not going to leave these out here for too long because elderberries are some of the fastest to degrade once they are taken off of the plant, but long enough for these guys to make their way out. But then I'm just going to pack them in like a grocery bag. It doesn't even have to be a freezer bag. You just want to make sure that your grocery bag doesn't have the holes in the bottom that they can sometimes have. You can just tape over those holes. And then once they've frozen in there for, I don't know, a day or two, we can take them out and process them. Last year, as I mentioned, I made elderberry syrup and elderberry gummies. I think this year I'd like to experiment with some elderberry jelly. If you are interested in seeing the process of making elderberry syrup and elderberry gummies, I'll leave this video up here. He wants to be held and then he doesn't. I'm sorry.